Trust that God has better for you. Because at the end of the day, Saul fumbled the bag. Saul fumbled the bag. And you owe it to yourself to get David. You owe it to yourself to get the one that God chose for you, anointed for you, ordained for you. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? We also have to learn how to be content in our waiting season and in our single season too. Because some of us, we get so caught up in these kingdom spouses and the kingdom spouse is coming, the kingdom spouse, your king. Like these people be looking like I about to start twitching over a kingdom spouse, like yo, kingdom spouse. No. At the end of the day, there's blessings in your single season and there's blessings when you do finally get the person you're supposed to have. And there's some things that God needs you to do while you're single, and there's some things that God needs you to do while you're married, and there's some things that God needs you to do while you're preparing to get married. So look at your single season as a preparation season. And also think about your personal goals. Like, are you financially where you want to be in a situation where you're looking for this person? Are you mentally there? Do you have past traumas that you need healed? Do you need to go to therapy? Do you need to do the things to make yourself feel good? Are you loving on yourself enough? Are you being confident in who God created you to be? Are you even walking in your calling yet? Because that's another thing too. Like some people's callings are attached to their marriage, but also sometimes your calling, you might get an inkling or know what your calling is before you even meet that person. And it's like, are you doing the things that God is requiring of you before we even get into that stuff? Because sometimes there's certain assignments that have to be completed before you even get to that phase. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, when you finally do get that person, God's not going to give you something that you're not prepared for, because then if you're not prepared for it, you're going to lose it. When you're not prepared for something, or you're not readily equipped for something, you're just setting yourself up for failure. God's not going to set you up for failure. So at the end of the day, if you're wondering or questioning, if this is your person, or if this is the person that you have, or if this person's going to come back or whatever, I think this is a reminder not to worry about those things and to focus on bettering your relationship with God and loving on yourself. Love on yourself and remind yourself that you have the capability of becoming whole and complete, lacking nothing without anybody besides you. All you need is you and God, for real. And everything else will fall into place. And that just reminded me of when I kept getting James 1, and it was always talking about let patience have her perfect peace, so that you could be complete, lacking nothing. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to fill a void with a person. You want to fill that void with God in his presence, because God is the only thing that can truly fill those voids. And this is why none of that other stuff is really going to bring you true satisfaction. Drinking's not going to do it. Smoking's not going to do it. Having sex with random people is not about to do it. None of that stuff is going to actually fill you up and make you feel good. And if you believe that, then you low-key lying to yourself, because yeah, when the liquor wear off and when you get up out that bed and all that extra stuff happens, the problem's still there, because you're trying to fill it with what's a good word for that? Artificial satisfaction. At the end of the day, maybe God has you single and you're in a waiting season because he just wants to spend time with you by himself, and he wants to cultivate you into the woman or the man that you need to become in order to walk in that assignment. So at the end of the day, count it all joy when you face trials of many kinds, because the working I'm trying to think of the whole scripture. That's a challenge for me, because I love James 1. That's one of my favorites. That's my go-to, but I just blanked out. But pretty much go to James 1 and go read James 1, and go read 1 Samuel chapter 15 and beyond until you get tired and you fall asleep or something, or until the you get whatever revelation you need, because that's literally what I had to do. I woke up in the middle of my sleep and God was like, go read 1 Samuel chapter 15. He didn't say nothing else. I'm like, okay. And then I just kept reading it because it was juicy, for real. I'm not gonna hold you, it was juicy. But at the end of the day, your person is coming. God has that for you. God knows the perfect time for that release, for that person and for you and for everything. Believe strongly, hold on dearly to Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 through 8. The reason why I say that is because there's a time for everything. Every single thing has a time frame. God's timing is better than your timing. When you step outside of God's timing, all it does is, or when you try to do things your way and not go with God's timing and be impatient, you're just punking yourself out the process. And also think about your current situation. Like I said before, like make sure that you're actually prepared for that. And you know, even if you don't feel prepared for that, God knows when you're ready. Whether you feel ready or not, God knows when you're ready. So at the end of the day, like, just put your trust back into God. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not into your own understanding. Let him direct all your paths. Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6. Let him lead all your paths. And, you know, you're going to be fine. And don't settle. Do not settle. Because you're a daughter of the Most High God. Why would you settle? You're a son of the Most High God. Why would you settle? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would God want something for you if you playing tug of war? Why would God want something for you that makes you fall into something that you fall into sin? He's not going to give you something like that. And he's not the author of confusion either. And so, as somebody who went through this last week, I'm telling you, there is a brighter side on the other side of, just know that God has so much in store for you, that everything's going to be fine, and that when your time comes, you will know, and you will be so happy with the results because it's coming from God. Every perfect gift comes from above. So at the end of the day, no matter what it looks like right now, just remind yourself that God is writing an epic love story for you, and it's worth waiting for. Do not settle. Do not settle for Saul. Do not settle for less than, because you're one of God's children, and as one of God's children, you are going to get what is yours. And God is going to make sure you do, because it's in Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and to keep you, not to bring you any harm. So why do we worry about things when at the end of the day, God knows exactly the beginning and the end of your story? Let him write your love story. I promise you it's worth it. All right, love you, bye.